this tutorial, we're going to look at how to collect data from a remote server and send it to LogLogic LMI server using LogLogic Universal Collector. In our previous videos, we have demonstrated how to collect logs from a web server by installing UC software on that server and forwarding them to an LMI server. In this tutorial, we will be exploring how to remotely collect file data and send it to an LMI. So let's assume you have a UC on a server and the logs are on a different web server. UC's remote file collections help us to collect and send this data to a downstream server without having to install UC on that web server. In this case, an IIS web server is hosting the logs. This data is pulled by UC hosted on a different server using either standard Syslog or ULDP, and then UC forwards these logs onto an LMI server. These communications can also be encrypted for security purposes. Now let's take a look at how to configure this rule. For the purposes of this video, I have already deployed UC on a Windows 2012 server. Launch UC and click on New. Select Remote File. If there isn't a forwarding rule, you'll be asked to create one. In this case, I have a test LMI server running on that IP. Test the connection to ensure the connectivity. Once you create a forwarding rule, you'll be redirected to a remote file pull rule. Under the name section, you can give a name to your file pull rule. Under hostname or IP, provide the hostname or IP address of the server that hosts these logs. Protocol lets you pick and choose what type of protocol you want to use for collection: FTP, CIFS, SFTP, etc. In this case, I'll pick CIFS. Provide the domain, username, and password of the user that has the privileges to pull data from that remote server. Under the share name, you'll be giving the shared name folder that hosts these logs. In my case, I have a folder on this other Windows server named IIS logs, and inside that folder is a test log that I created. So the share name would be IIS logs, and the path would be /filename.extension. Now choose a device type. In our case, it's Microsoft IIS. Test the connection to ensure connectivity. Test shows successful. Switching to the Directory tab, it gives us some more options that we didn't see with File option. Under Directory Path, since we have the files directly in the shared folder and not inside a subfolder, we give / as the path. Under Files Included, you can give an absolute file name as follows. Test the connection to check if UC is able to access that file. Or you can use wildcards to collect multiple files at once from that same directory as follows. Test comes back OK in either case. Same goes with files excluded. You can choose to exclude some files matching either the name or the pattern if you wish. Switching back to File option here, under the Schedule section, you can select how often do you want UC to pull data from that file or files. Once a choice is made, click Apply and wait for the changes to apply. Going back into the rule, you'll see the next collection time is updated. If you go to Monitor Screen, status of the rule under page 2 shows active, and page 5 shows it's collected something from the source already. Pressing the L key shows that it has also forwarded this data to the LMI successfully. So at this point, you should be able to search for this data on the LMI. This marks the end of this tutorial. For more resources, please visit the following pages.